Okay, part 12, here we go.
This thing, Mr. Shook, you want to ask her the next question?
Oh, okay. In your bags, the pack that you had, there was various bandages, things like that. Do you recall that?
I knew they put them in there a while ago.
Did you ever think about even using those during this incident?
No. It was panic. It was panicking.
Good answer. Because the defense makes a big deal that she had in her bag blood-stopping agents and she didn't apply them. And again, trying to paint her as a evil wanting to kill this person.
You'd sent some text to Martin Rivera.
Yes, I did.
Did you delete those texts?
I did.
Did that happen that night? The next day? When did that happen?
It happened I deleted them. I was ashamed I was in a relationship. I was in a relationship with him. It's embarrassing.
Had you deleted his text before?
Yes, I have.
Is that your normal routine?
Yes, it was.
See, I think she could have said I deleted them because I was having a private, personal conversation with somebody that I wasn't necessarily proud of, and it had explicit pictures that I was sending for him to view only. And I knew that they were probably going to seize my phone in the investigation, and I just didn't want those pictures put in public. So I wasn't, and it goes to her state of mind that she wasn't thinking clearly, because all cops know just because you delete it doesn't mean we can't get it. That's how they got it. She deleted it and they still got it. So deleting it wasn't to obstruct the investigation. It wasn't this malice of forethought to where I better delete these so they don't know. It was, I don't want people seeing it. And if she was thinking clearly, she'd have went, they're going to undelete it and see it anyway. It doesn't matter. So it goes to her state of mind of not thinking clearly in my book.
I'll pass the whistle, Your Honor.
Just one moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay, and here's where the prosecution crooked Weasley DA takes over.
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
Good morning, Ms. Guyger.
Good morning.
I'm going to ask you several questions today concerning the events of September the 6th.
So let me start this off with this guy. She said good morning. He said good morning. He called her Miss Guyger. This is he's trying to show you he's your friend. He's just after the truth, and you can just relax. Never, ever relax when government is questioning you. I don't care what it is. They are not doing it to help you. This DA is not questioning her to help her. He's trying to put her away for 99 years for murder that he knows she did not commit a murder. But it doesn't matter. He's not her friend, and she forgets that. She's like, yes, sir, which you want to be polite, but she lets her guard down, and this guy chews her up. I would have eaten this DA up, and I'll eat him up when he does things. But let's go.
6th, and in particular, your testimony that Mr. Shook, you just covered, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so at the very end, I'm probably going to go backwards. I'm going to start where you guys ended, and I'm going to move backwards. So one of the things that you obviously wanted to communicate to the jury is just about how bad you feel about what you did to Mr. Jean. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, on the actual day, on September the 6th, 2018, you were captured a lot on body cam. Isn't that correct?
Yes, sir. It's
And
true.
in-car video.
Notice he didn't let her question. Notice how he's running. He continually does this through this whole thing, and her attorney never objects. He doesn't let her answer. He runs over her. He asks multiple questions. He's given statement and testimony. He's leading the witness, and the other defense never freaking objects. And one of the pundits, some other lawyer on one of the news channels saying, well, the defense doesn't want to object to, he doesn't want to appear that he's hiding and she has something to hide. BS! You have to defend your client so she doesn't get in trouble. Because her attorney let this DA get away with this, she ends up admitting that she shot to kill him. And she didn't. I don't care what she said on the stand. I can get people to say shit all the time that are wrong. If you badger them and say it quick, and it's just investigative techniques. This DA is a better investigator, and he's going to get her to say and get her to admit that she meant to kill him. When in fact, no cop means to kill. We mean to stop the threat. We shoot center mass to stop the threat. That's what we're trained to do. We are never, ever trained or said kill. But the DA says kill so many times without an objection from her attorney that she ends up agreeing with him. Horrible, horrible answer. Horrible situation.
Isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, may I publish the remainder of State's Exhibit number 10 at this time?
Yes.
Now, there should be no surprises on this. Everything the defense is bringing up, or everything the prosecutor is bringing up, the defense knows. So her lawyer has seen every piece of evidence and every witness that's going to appear. So they should know where this is going. So none of this should be a surprise.
So the representation that you've made today, crying very heavily about all the stuff that you did to Mr. John and how awful that made you feel. Did you feel that at the time on September 6th? Did you feel that kind of sympathy for him as well?
Yes, I was.
Again, he wants to downplay and paint her as faking and making this up. So he wants to discredit her in front of the jury. And he does a good job of discrediting her a little bit, but hopefully somebody on the jury will be able to see through that he's just being a jerk and she's not faking.
Remember this in-car video?
This is Sergeant Valentine's.
Right, Sergeant Valentine's video as she's about to move the car towards you while you're standing underneath the carport. You're aware that these particular in-car videos capture two perspectives, right? You have the perspective from the car looking out, looking at right now. Is that yes?
Yes, sir.
You also have the perspective from inside the car so that you can see the individual inside the car.
Objection. Are you testifying or is there a question here? What are you asking my client? Because it sounds like you're testifying about cameras. That's what I think the other attorney should be jacking this guy up on, and he just lets him do whatever he wants.
Car that might later be used as evidence, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So see, he's giving testimony. He's setting up the question. He gets to talk 10 times as much as she does, and then he gets her to give a one-word answer. Is that correct? Correct. I mean, why don't he just say, you went in, you tried to kill him, you killed him, you know you killed him, you didn't give first aid, and you called 911 and you didn't try to do anything. Isn't that correct? I mean, you just don't want an attorney doing that shit.
So, after pulling up on the scene here, stopping at 2216-19, you got a bunch of your friends around there, isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
Those people aren't involved in the police investigation, are they?
No, sir.
Those are your friends that have come there, right?
Yes, sir.
You remember you were talking about how alone you felt out there at the scene?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think you even told the jury you being allowed out there with him, alone with him, was the scariest thing you can imagine.
See, again, he's getting her to just say yes and no, and she's not experienced on the stand to see what he's doing, and she's not cutting him off. You asked me, didn't you testify that you were all alone, and aren't these all your friends? They are my friends, and I did testify that I was alone, and I was alone. And these people heard the scanners, and they knew that this was a critical incident, and they wanted to see if I was okay because they thought I was hurt. And anytime an officer is involved in a critical incident, that we have a support mechanism because we know how stressful and how critical it is. So yes, during the incident, I was alone, and I was still feeling along even though, as a matter of fact, my guess is you've never been in a shooting and you've never killed somebody. So for you to tell me how I was feeling, I think is a little inappropriate. That's how I would have came back. And then the DA would have been, Your Honor, that was non-responsive, and the client is arguing with me. Can you please direct the witness to only answer my questions? And you can get away with that a few times. If you do it too many times, then they'll say, I want to make this witness a hostile witness, and then they get to answer yes and no questions. So, and when they get to make you a hostile witness, the jury always thinks, oh, he must have something to hide if they're making him hot. I've had plenty of defense attorneys make me a hostile witness because I'll start arguing with them, and I'm like, you know, put things in my mouth. I'm going to say my answer. And, you know, and then they'll be like, isn't it true, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, not really, because they want a yes or no answer. Because if you say not really, then they got to come back with, well, what do you mean not? Is it yes or no? It's not really. It depends. It depends on what? Then I get to get my answer out. So you don't want to give them what they want. Otherwise, they'll use it against you. That's courtroom survival 101.
Because you couldn't find a partner or anything? Remember saying that to the jury?
When I was inside the apartment, I was alone.
Exactly. That's
See how he's interrupting her? Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Is that a question? Judge, can you tell the attorney to ask his question and let my client answer without his extra editorializing? I'd have been all over this DA. See, that you want a meat eater who's going to protect you, especially when you're on the stand.
the scariest thing you can imagine, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you imagine Mr. Jean's perspective, an intruder barging into his apartment, somebody on the other side of that door being you, going in with the purpose of finding the threat and taking care of it, and then having been shot and fallen?
Is there a question here? Your Honor, that's a compound question. How many things is he asking here? What's the question? I mean, this DA is just testifying, and he's getting her to give 1- and 2-word answers. I can't believe the attorney's letting him get away with this.
And being alone in that apartment, can't you imagine that being a little bit scarier than you just being alone at the moment?
Yes, sir, I can.
So she gives a 1-word answer, and he immediately starts in on the next one. She should not have given a 1-word answer. She should have, like she said before, I already said I'm extremely sorry for what I did. He didn't deserve any of this. I can't imagine how he felt, and I'm sorry. But right now, I'm trying to explain to you how I felt and why I felt the way I did. You can throw that back on them, and you can use their questions to push your point and your agenda and to get your point across. And she's not. She's playing his game. She's an inexperienced witness, and this DA is eating her up like freaking corn on the cob with butter. And it's like, what the hell, man? Where's her attorney protecting her? I can't believe it.
So that would probably be the scariest thing you can imagine.
That's how I felt at the time.
I understand how you felt, but you've told the jury...
See how he's interrupting, Your Honor? He's badgering he's interrupting her. He's not letting her finish her answer, and he's immediately throwing. Can he just ask a question and let her answer? I'd have been all over. And plus, it makes him look like a jerk. You don't want to let him do this because the jury is like, wow, man, he's really on it. He must have a point because the other attorney isn't even objecting. He must be right because he really seems assured, and the judge isn't stopping him, and the other attorney isn't stopping him. Wow, he must really have a good case. You don't want to let that shit fly. Not in a courtroom. And if your attorney ain't doing it, then you got to defend yourself on the stand.
Because, see, Ms. Guyger, you are very concerned about how you feel, right?
No.
Can you imagine what that man felt?
That's what hurts. And
So let's look at this video.
See? Didn't let her question. That's what the DA, if you slam this DA a couple of times and you get out good points, he's going to stop this. He will absolutely stop. Let me go back to his last question.
Imagine what that man felt.
that's what hurts.
Can you imagine what that man felt? No, I cannot. And I'm sorry for that, as I said many a times. But I can't change what has happened. I can only explain to you what happened and what I was thinking and feeling. I'm sorry that then she could use her answer as a way to apologize to family. I'm sorry for the family, I'm sorry for the pain. I can't undo it. If I could, I would, but I can't. I thought it was my apartment and I was scared. And I acted and it was very fast and it was rapidly evolving and I didn't know what else to do and I'm sorry. You say that a couple times when he's asking this bullshit and he'll stop asking that BS. But if you just answer yes and no and your attorney isn't objecting, he's going to eat you up, man. And he just eats. Man, I hope somebody, if she gets convicted, they file a lack of attorney representation. Well, I forgot. I can't think of the term right now because I'm all fired up. When a lawyer doesn't give you good representation, there's a term.
So let's look at this video, State's Exhibit number 10. That's all your friends that have come there for your comfort, right?
I didn't ask them to come.
That doesn't matter to me. They're there for you.
If it doesn't matter to me, why are you asking? Answer the question and get out your point. Do not let him control the agenda, tempo, and the way that you give your answer. Do not let them have control over you just because they're on a stand and they're in a position of power.
Your comfort and you're taking advantage of it.
No, sir.
All right. I'm going to play this.
I'm not sure what that showed or how that's relevant or what the importance of it is. I don't even know what kind of point he's trying to make.
That's Sergeant Valentine coming to get you away from your friends and take you to the car, isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
Because you should be taken away from everybody, isn't that right? You should be in that car.
Yes, sir.
See, she's agreeing with him. Why should you be in that car? If that's procedure for me to be in the car, I was told, I was confused. I was still in a state of shock somewhat because I had just killed a guy that was innocent that I didn't mean to kill because I thought I was in my apartment. My life was in danger. Keep pounding those words into the jury's head. She's just saying, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he knows he's got her saying, yes, sir. And that's when he goes in and gets her to admit that she wanted to kill him, which is absolutely just not true. I don't care if she did say it. That's not what she meant.
All right, I'm going to change it now so we can see you inside the vehicle, all right?
You want to keep it rolling? Yeah, keep it rolling. Okay, just whatever you can go. Okay.
All right, so that's you talking, right?
Yes, sir.
You're not crying like you are today. You're asking her, should I keep this thing rolling? What are you talking about?
It's a in-car video.
Right. So you're talking normally, and you say, should I keep this thing rolling?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and Sergeant Valentine tells you, yeah, keep it rolling, but just don't say anything, right?
Yes, she does.
Okay.
See, she's giving these short answers, and he's getting to paint that picture that there's something nefarious going on there. All she had to say is, I've never been in an officer-involved shooting before. I didn't know the procedure. That's why I was asking. I didn't want to do anything inappropriate. I didn't know if we should turn it off or leave it on. I asked her and she said leave it on. And I didn't feel as fearful as I was when I was at the shooting because I had friends, I had support. The threat was over. I was coming down from an extremely excited, hypervigilant state of fight or flight, and I felt I was actually being able to breathe, and I wasn't breathing hard. I wasn't doing anything wrong or mean. It wasn't that I didn't care what happened. I was still coming down from a critical life-saving incident. Have you ever been in one of those to sit here and tell me what I was feeling? Man, I'd have been all over that freaking DA.
What are you doing inside the car right now, Miss Guyger?
I have my phone.
What are you doing on your phone, Miss Guyger?
I don't remember exactly what I was doing at that moment.
Then you get out of the car, you go back over to your friends, don't you?
I don't remember where I go to.
You go over to your friends, don't you? He's testifying. He's leading the witness. His question should have been, where did you go when you got out of the car? Not, you're going back over to your friends. I don't remember. Because, see, now he's put that in the jury's mind, and they're going to remember, oh, yeah, she got out of the car and went over to her friends. When, in fact, maybe she didn't go to her friends. And when he asked, why did you get out of the car? It's very simple. Look, I was nervous. I was still confused. I already told you. This was an incident that's never happened in my life. I shot a guy that I know that was in his own apartment, and I felt like crap, and I didn't really know what to do. And I didn't feel like sitting still because I had all this energy and built up frustration and stress, and I just wanted to move, and I wanted to text, and I wanted to be around somebody so I wouldn't have to think about how I just killed somebody and not know what's going on. I don't even know if he died yet. I don't know if they took him to the hospital. I don't know. What do you want me to do? Would you mind telling me what the right thing I should have done? What is the right thing I should have done? Just got in a car and sat there and not moved like a robot? Is that what you're telling me I should have done, counselor? Man, me and this, believe me, I've gone toe to toe with a lot of attorneys on the stand, and they usually don't like it because they're not used to it and they can't handle it real well because most people don't know. And they get up there and they're intimidated and they're scared and they want to seem like they're cooperating and they end up putting a noose around their neck. Oh shit, I'm at 20 minutes. All right, we're going to make part 12. This will get good here in a minute with her and the attorney.